I was born in 1955 in California. My father was Italian. My mother was Russian and Lithuanian. And I grew up in California. When I was maybe 6 years old, I first started making sculptures. Usually animals, whales, dinosaurs, things like that. And I would melt all my mother's candles down and make things out of wax, little religious figures and anything. And then that all stopped, and I started playing music when I was 8 years old. I started studying the trumpet, and I played that for many, many years, and then later started playing the flute when I was a teenager, and then the piano, and the violin, and I wanted to be a composer. So I went to music school and I studied composition and counterpoint and harmony and all of that kind of stuff. And basically I found that the modern music, modern classical music didn't touch me, didn't touch my heart. That all the things I was learning was not really what I wanted to do. So I began playing Indian music because it was a completely different world. It touched my heart. There was something very magical about it. It was all based on improvisation, but there was definitely a science behind it, a deep science, and I wanted to understand more what that was. So I started studying Indian music, and it's a very intense training. You have to really practice for many, many hours a day. Sometimes I was practicing 12 and 14 hours a day, not doing much else than that. And through that, I started to look at myself, because that kind of music, it's a kind of meditation when you play it. You're practicing for many, many hours, and sometimes it's very repetitive, and you are basically watching your mind while you're doing it, watching your boredom, watching your urge to stop this and do something else. But you have to really do it. You have to just pour yourself into it and forget all that. So without knowing it, it's like I was starting the process of meditation. And very shortly after, I found a master of meditation. His name was Osho, and I went to India to be there where he was. And I stayed many, many months there in India, studying Indian vocal music with a teacher of music, and studying meditation with Osho. And like that, it continued for a few years. I would go to India when I had the chance and the money, and otherwise I would be studying music wherever I was. And then I started to live in the commune of Osho, and I worked as a carpenter. Meanwhile, I was doing music when there was festivals, and I was practicing 6 in the morning and midnight outside the hours of work. I was always doing that. And then my work took a very interesting change. I was making things out of wood. I became the personal carpenter for Osho for a while. I was making things for him. And then one day he asked me to make him something out of marble. I had never touched marble before in my life. And especially Indian marble, I'd never even seen it. And so he actually kind of pushed me to do it, that he wanted to have made furniture for his personal use. So he gave me this work to do, and it was, you know, you hear in like Zen monasteries the stories of the disciples. They are counting rice grains for years, and that's their whole work and their whole meditation. And looking at those rice grains all day long is just a mirror for the mind. You see everything projected onto that. Well, it was like that for me with the marble. It was such a different kind of work than music. With music, things happen immediately. You have instant realization of your thoughts and your feelings. Where with marble, it seemingly wouldn't change at all.
To your door, no shoes on my feet, looking for warmth, maybe something to eat. I asked for a friend, a hand I could hold. You gave me your love, was an ocean of gold. Chetana, Chet.
So this was a totally different kind of work for me. The marble, it was very hard and really, really pushed me beyond my limits of patience. Felt like I was going mad with that stuff, trying to make something, and it was breaking all the tools, and I was getting electroshocks from the Indian tools, and so this was really a different kind of work for me, the marble. I had to really, instead of it flowing like with music, I had to really change. It took everything I had, all the muscular power, all the patience, all the mental energy. I had to become like a steel tool myself in order to work that stone, and it was a totally different experience for me. Sometimes I was just at the limits of my patience. The tools would break and I would be getting shocks from working with the water and the Indian tools. And
your love found its way to my soul.